tuned to Haunted Haze.
Hey, welcome back to Haunted Haze. I'm Josh.
I'm Kristen.
And this is episode 10.
Episode 10, finally in the double digits.
Yep, we're getting up there. This episode is about unsolved mysteries.
Ooh, mystery.
Yeah, who doesn't like a good mystery, right?
For sure. And especially even now, the new Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix is so good too.
Oh, yeah, that's been good. Yeah. It's always fascinating.
I know.
Yeah.
But like you said, you had told me before, it's so unsatisfying because you never have that good ending.
Oh, yeah, you never really get, like, it is an unsolved mystery, so
I always
that is
remember.
a little disappointing. But we've got some really good ones today, though, like some really
for sure.
fascinating unsolved mysteries. But before we go over that, make sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook.
Yes, at Haunted Haze Podcast.
Yep, and email us at hauntedhazepodcast@gmail.com.
Yes.
Also, listen to us now pretty much anywhere you can listen to podcasts.
Yeah, we're on YouTube also now. We put up our videos on there every Thursday as well.
Yep, you can find us on YouTube now. If you're looking for us, make sure to type in our full name, which is Haunted Haze Podcast.
Yeah, it seems to come up better for people if they type in the full thing. Some people have had trouble.
Yeah, so just if you have trouble, or just email us if you're having trouble, and we'll be happy to help you out.
Absolutely. We'll find you a way.
Speaking of emails, we got a good Kids Say the Damnedest things.
Yes, we do. But first, I just want to tell everybody it's the gifting season. It's holiday season officially. So you should check out Hippie Hay Studio on Etsy.
Yes, Hippie Hay Studio. You can find it on Etsy. It's our one-of-a-kind handmade arts and gifts that me and Kristen make. Like, we do paintings,
stash boxes, tie-dye.
Yeah, all kind of little cool gifts. Just check it out. If you're looking for a gift for you or a loved one, make sure to check out Hippie Haze.
And we can make stuff made to order. So
yeah, custom order stuff.
If you have an idea, just hit us up and let us know.
Yeah, for sure.
But yes, let's get into our Kids Say.
Yes, Kids.
So our friend and listener Amy, she sent this in, and whenever I read it, I immediately was like, we have to use that as a Kid Say the Damnedest Things.
Yeah, right.
So Amy said, one time a group of my friends and I went to a cemetery at night to visit a friend. We had a child with us who was probably 3 or 4 at the time, and while we were there, the child said, "Who are those people standing by the tree?"
Oh, God.
There was nobody by the tree.
Oh, gosh.
And that's so awful. And it's at Amy, why are we all at the cemetery at night?
Oh, yeah, right? What are you doing?
We have questions.
Yeah.
And there was a kid with you.
Yeah, why you not stop and check it out? Who are those people? Maybe they need help.
I guess, maybe they did check it out. I just,
Hightail
honestly,
it out there, right?
Why check it out? Just leave.
Let's just get out of there. Yeah, I feel you. Kids
So-
say the damnedest things, right?
And thank you so much, Amy, for sending in your story.
Yeah, that's a creepy story for sure.
We've gotten a few other stories that we're going to incorporate, too.
Yeah.
I can't wait to tell some of these other ones we have.
Well, anyway, I guess we can get into our list of unsolved mysteries I have.
Right.
I have 17 different unsolved mysteries we're going to talk about.
Mystery.
Yeah, no particular order, just a list of some creepy mysteries.
All right, let's get into it.
All right, number 1 is the Circleville Letters. In 1976, residents of the small city near Columbus, Ohio, began receiving handwritten, sinister, and graphic letters. Each letter included secret, disturbing details about their personal lives.
Man.
One resident, Mary Gillespie, received a ton of letters accusing her of having a non-existent affair. The author warned Mary that he had been keeping an eye on her home and her actions. Then her husband started receiving letters. The letters stopped for a while until one day in 1977 when her husband was found dead in his truck after taking a call from who he thought was the letter writer. His death was ruled an accident, and the harassment continued, in the form of both letters and threatening road signs.
Wow.
In 1983, Mary tried to remove one of the road signs and was faced with a booby trap, a box that contained a gun designed to shoot whoever opened it. Luckily, Mary opened the trap in a way that didn't set off the gun, so she wasn't hurt. After investigation, Mary's brother-in-law was sentenced to 25 years in prison for the crime. But the letter writing continued while he was locked up, with hundreds of residents getting letters up until 1994. That's pretty crazy.
I have a really interesting fact about that. Unsolved Mysteries, the show, they did that.
Yeah, they did.
And they got a letter from the letter writer, threatening them not to play the episode.
Yeah, how creepy is that?
It is creepy. Like, if someone really...
How can they not find the person?
They surely that person was tapping
into
into their phone lines or something, or stalking. I don't know. It's creepy.
Seems like but so many townspeople got it. It wasn't just one family. It was like a whole lot of people.
Yeah, it's really weird. That makes me think they're in the phone line somehow.
Yeah, that's weird. All right, the next one, number 2, the disappearance of the USS Cyclops. On the 16th of February, 1918, the USS Cyclops departed a journey from Rio de Janeiro carrying 306 crew members and passengers and was set for Baltimore, Maryland. This ship was carrying manganese ore and was thought to be overloaded 100 tons above capacity. The trip made an unscheduled stop in Barbados and then set out for Baltimore on the 4th of March and was due for arrival on the 13th. Despite rumored sightings, Cyclops never made it to Baltimore and no wreckage or bodies were ever found. Some people believe the ship fell victim to the Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle in itself is like a mystery, right?
Honestly, we could probably do an episode on it. It's so interesting.
Yeah, we probably will, actually. There's a lot to talk about. So it just sounds like another ship. But that's a lot of people. 306 people disappearing on a ship. That's got to be awful. I need
a count on the amount of people that have gone missing in the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, yeah, right. I'm sure there's a lot. All right, so number 3, the mysterious disappearance and reappearance of Lawrence Joseph Bader. In 1957, cookware salesman Lawrence Joseph Bader, who had a string of financial problems, vanished after going fishing near his home in Akron, Ohio. A storm hit and his boat was found damaged. 4 days later, John Fritz Johnson appeared in Omaha, Nebraska. Fritz was known for his big personality and became something of a local celebrity. He was by no means trying to keep a low profile. In 1965, when Fritz was in Chicago, someone from Akron recognized him and went as far as bringing Bader's niece to identify him. They confronted Fritz about his identity, which he denied and even found funny. Fritz's fingerprints matched Larry Bader's, but he maintained that he had absolutely no memory of a life in Akron. Psychiatrists even examined him and believed that he wasn't lying. He died in 1966, and the truth was never established.
Wow.
That's crazy. They're like, hey, I know you. But the fingerprints matching is really the biggest thing for me, right?
Yeah, I mean, the fingerprints.
Yeah, you can't fake that.
Even identical twins have different fingerprints, don't they?
He's like, fuck going back to Akron. He's like, I hate that life. All right, so number 4, the toxic lady. In February 1994, Gloria Ramirez was admitted to a California emergency room while suffering with aggressive cervical cancer. When she entered the hospital at 8:15 p.m., she was described as being extremely confused and having an oily sheen covering her body. Within minutes of treating her, medical staff began feeling ill and fainting. Ramirez was pronounced dead after 45 minutes of CPR and defibrillation. And 23 people became ill, 5 of which were hospitalized. One medical resident spent 2 weeks in an intensive care unit. The county health department believed hospital workers suffered from mass hysteria, but some of the affected staff members disagree with this. That's crazy. They're like, we don't know. She was like covered in some type of, like, I don't know, goo.
Have we talked about that before?
I'm not sure, but it seems like something like from like Chernobyl. You know what I mean? Like she was in like some toxic sludge and got contaminated other people.
I think they found out that it was like this. She had cancer and she had like got this medicine that she thought was going to help, and she did it all over her body.
Oh, okay, wow.
And then maybe it had like some kind of poison in it. I don't remember.
I'll
have to go back because I think maybe we saw a documentary.
Okay. Number 5, the Oakville Blobs. In 1994, there were 6 rainstorms in Oakville, Washington, except it didn't rain water. It rained gelatinous blobs, which residents described as jelly-like. To make things even weirder, a number of residents experienced flu-like symptoms after coming into contact with the substance, and pets all over the city were dying. When tests were run on the mystery rain, they found that it contained human white blood cells, but to this day, no one knows exactly how or why it came about. Damn. That sounds like the shit that lady had on her.
Yeah, that's awful.
Number 6, the Oklahoma bomb and missing leg. On April 19th, 1995, a truck bomb detonated outside a federal building in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. The deadly explosion killed 168 people. Investigators working on the case found a missing leg clad in a military boot, but the person who they thought the leg belonged to, Lakeisha Levy, had been buried with both her legs. Levy's body was exhumed, and the leg that was originally buried with her was taken for investigation. Because it had been embalmed, taking a DNA test wasn't possible, so it's not known who the leg belonged to. The discovery led to suspicion of either an additional terrorist or another victim, but neither have been confirmed. Damn,
I've never
crazy.
heard of that. That's
Yeah, me
so
neither.
crazy.
A missing leg. That's awful. Number 7, the murder of the Miyazawa family. On New Year's Eve in 2000, the dead bodies of Mikio and Yasuka Miyazawa and their 2 young children were found in their home in the suburbs of Tokyo. After carrying out the investigation, detectives found that the killer had stayed in the house for several hours, using the family's computer, eating their fruit and ice cream, and treating his injuries with their first aid kit. He even used the toilet and didn't flush it. The strange things about the case is that despite the police being able to determine really specific clues about the killer's identity, such as what he had eaten beforehand and where he bought his clothes, they've never apprehended a suspect.
Man, I hate
How
that.
creepy is that? You killed the family and you're just like chilling in their house.
Yeah, I've heard like several stories like that, and it creeps me out so bad.
Plus, like in Tokyo, that seems like this. I don't know. Like, I just you just never hear about murders like that. I don't live in Tokyo either, so. Number 8, the missing Fleninen Isles lighthouse keepers. On the 7th of December, 1900, 3 lighthouse keepers headed to Fleninen Isles to do a 2-week shift. When the boat arrived to collect them at the end of their shift, the lighthouse was locked and they were gone. There was no trace of their bodies, but the clock had stopped. Their waterproof gear was inside, and there was a meal on the table ready to be eaten. Their bodies were never found.
Man,
Yeah, that's creepy.
some of these are
I need
gonna
to
like
watch that movie, The
honestly keep
Lighthouse.
me up at night.
Yeah, right? Like, where did
It's
these
the
people go?
mysteries that are really the worst.
Yeah, right? It just keeps you wondering. Number 9, the Salish Sea Feet. Since 2007, around 20 dismembered human feet have been found in or around the coast of Salish Sea, which is near British Columbia and Washington. The feet are often found still inside of shoes. While a small number of feet have been identified, many are still a mystery. Authorities have ruled out foul play, but some have theorized that they may have been remains of victims of the Asian tsunami that struck in 2004. That's crazy. It made it all the way to like Washington.
That is,
Ugh. Man, that's awful. Just
I
finding
really can't
people's
even
feet.
comprehend that. I would die if a foot washed up on me in the water.
Oh,
I would
yeah,
never
God, you're
get
just
in
out
the
there
water
swimming
again.
and
I don't
there's like a
think.
foot.
I'd never swim again.
Yeah. All right, so number 10, the Tamam Shud case. In 1945, the body of an unidentified man was found on Somerton Park Beach in South Australia. The police were unable to identify him, but months later, a scrap of paper that read Tatam Shud was found in his pocket. Tamam Shud is a Persian phrase meaning finished, and the paper had been ripped out of the final page of a book written by the 12th century poet Omar Khayyam. After a public appeal, the book was located, and detectives were able to read indentations on the back cover that appeared to be an encrypted message. Despite international attention, the man's identity has never been established. So he just had like this weird like note in his pocket. People had no idea who he was.
That
That was weird. What was he looking
is
up?
weird.
Clearly, he was on to something. Number 11, the disappearance of Lars Mittink. In 2014, 28-year-old Lars Mittink was on holiday in Bulgaria with friends. He had planned to fly back home to Germany with his friends, but after getting into a fight with some locals, a doctor advised against air travel as he had burst his eardrum. He insisted on staying back alone and checked into a hotel. A day after his friends left, he started acting strangely. He seemed paranoid and scared, and called his mom to tell her that 4 men were coming to kill him. His odd behavior was recorded on the hotel's CCTV, but he only stayed there for one night. He was last seen on the 8th of July, 2 days after his friends had left, at Varna Airport. The airport security cameras captured him running away from something, climbing a fence, and into a field of sunflowers near a highway. He hasn't ever been seen since. That's crazy.
I always wonder if people...
Seems like you pissed somebody off there.
Yeah, I always wonder if people like that just saw something go wrong.
Yeah,
like they
maybe
saw something they shouldn't have seen.
Yeah, something go down, yeah. That's
I
crazy.
hope I never see something I'm not supposed to see.
So this was in Bulgaria. Let's not go there.
Okay.
All right, number 12, the disappearance of the Sauter children. This is like 5 little children, and there's like a missing wanted ad for them. It's creepy.
That's sad.
In the middle of the night on Christmas Eve in 1945, the home of the Sauter family burned down. At the time, George and Jenny Sauter and 9 of their 10 children were inside, and only 4 of the children escaped safely. The bodies of the other 5 weren't recovered from the blaze, and the Sauters suspected the fire had been caused by an arson and the children abducted. George, an Italian immigrant, had been very outspoken against Mussolini, and there were theories that the kids had been taken back to Sicilian mafia. The Sauters spent years traveling across the United States to try and track down their children, following tips and reported sightings. In 1967, Jenny received a letter that enclosed a photograph of a young man who looked a lot like how Lewis would have looked as an adult. Written on the back of the photo was, "Lewis Sauter, I love brother Frankie. Little boys, A901 32 or 35. The letter had no return address, and the family were unable to track down the man in the photo. Both parents continued searching for their children until they died.
That's so sad.
That's awful. That's really sad. The Tromp family's bizarre road trip. One Monday morning in 2016, Mark and Jacomba Tromp and their adult kids, Rihanna, Mitchell, and Ella, left their home and berry farm in Victoria, Australia. When the police searched their home a few days later, they found it unlocked with their cards and phones left behind. It was later reported that Mr. and Mrs. Tromp were showing signs of paranoia and stress and had fled their home. Mitchell seemed to the only one unaffected by the belief that the family was in danger and had brought his mobile phone along with him. When his parents discovered it, they made him throw it out of the window. By Tuesday morning, they had traveled almost 500 miles north to a town in NSW, and Mitchell left the family to go home. The rest of the family continued to travel, but then the two sisters left their parents. They stole a car and reported their parents missing. They ended up separating, and Ella and Mitchell were the first two of the members of the Tromp family to return home. Rihanna, on the other hand, had climbed into the back of a car. When the driver of the car discovered her, she was in a catatonic state and didn't know her name or where she was. That's crazy.
How does that even happen?
It's like, what are they trying to get away from? Eventually, the entire family were found, but no one could explain their strange behavior, which the police involved called a massive meltdown. It's like the family just went crazy, and maybe they saw aliens.
Crazier things have happened, I feel like.
Yeah, right. Number 14, Lady of the Dunes. In the summer of 1974, the body of an unidentified woman was discovered in the Race Point Dunes in Massachusetts. She had suffered horrific injuries, and underneath her body was a pair of Wrangler jeans and a blue bandana.
That's random.
Despite facial reconstructions and extensive searching, the woman's identity has never been discovered. In 2015, speculation that she may have been an extra in the film Jaws arose, and there was a woman wearing clothes similar to the ones found near the body. and it had been filmed near that area. While some people describe the claim as a far-fetched, the lead investigator noted interest in it. So they're saying that she was probably an extra in Jaws when she was murdered. That's crazy.
I have a lot of questions. Shouldn't they have a list of who was the extras?
Yeah, maybe they would know her name. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. There's probably a lot of people, so maybe they don't have a list.
Maybe. I don't know how that works.
Number 15, Zimbabwe's alleged alien invasion. In 1994, 62 primary school-aged children in Ruwa, Zimbabwe were on break and they saw 4 silver crafts at the edge of their playground.
Ooh.
When they went to investigate, they saw a small creature wearing a tight black suit and big eyes like rugby balls. Some of the children claimed that the creature communicated with them telepathically, and while some of them were traumatized, others were excited. Yeah, right? Like, oh my God. Obviously, their teacher didn't believe their reports, but they all went home and told their parents about the incident. When the children were separately asked to draw what they had seen, all the drawings were the exact same.
Yeah, I bet they were, because they were
Why were there not teachers outside with these children? Why did they not also see this?
Yeah.
62 kids saw that. That's crazy. And they all drew the same thing. That's very interesting.
You have a good point of why there's not any parents out there.
Yeah.
Or, I mean,
it's because it's
teachers.
Zimbabwe. They're like, all right, we have to have a break from children. All right, number 16, the Max Headroom incident. In November of 1987, 2 TV stations in Chicago were hijacked by someone wearing a Max Headroom mask. Both incidents featured the unknown person behaving very strangely, and the second takeover ended with the man in the mask having his bare butt spanked with a fly swatter. An FFC employer at the time said that people responsible face a fine of up to $100,000 or even prison time, but they have never been identified. You've probably seen that video. It's like he's like acting weird. It's like it breaks in during like in the news or something.
Yeah,
He's
I think
like,
I have maybe seen
It's like some weird
that.
like shitty 80s music in the background.
I have seen that. It's really scary.
Well, I guess it's kind of scary because you're like, what is going on?
Yeah.
But it's clearly just some kind of like tech nerdy guy that like fucking with people, I think. I don't know. All right, number 17, the location of Genghis Khan's grave.
That's interesting.
The emperor of the Mongol Empire asked to be buried without any signs or markings. According to legend, when he died in 1227, everyone involved in his funeral was killed in order to keep the burial location a secret.
Oh my gosh.
Throughout the 20th century, many have searched for the hidden tomb, but none have been successful, and his final resting place remains a mystery.
I mean, that's savage to kill all the people involved in his funeral. And
Yeah, did they know that was coming?
that was my next question. Did they?
No, dude, I'm not burying him. I'm good.
Yeah, I don't have to know.
All right,
Keep it
well,
a secret.
Well, those were some pretty interesting unsolved mysteries, I thought. Some of them were pretty popular. You've heard of some of them before, for sure. But
Yeah, I feel.
it's cool talking about them again.
I do feel bad. I thought that we had talked about that one lady with the jail, but I remember that I saw that on a video.
Maybe.
It was on a TikTok video.
Oh, okay. You saw that information. Okay.
Yeah, that's where I got it from. I remembered after you said.
All right, how about the news this week?
Ritual of horror. An apparent drug-fueled ritual in Mexico ended with a 5-year-old boy severely wounded. According to authorities, the participants held the ceremony because they believed that a large earthquake would soon bring the end of the world. After ingesting unspecified drugs and reciting a group prayer, the boy's own mother gouged her son's eyes out at the climax of the ritual. In the end, 8 people were arrested by police, several of them members of the boy's family.
Jeez.
Take that, officers. In Hackensack, New Jersey, police were called to the home of a man threatening himself with a knife. When they arrived, they found Wayne Carter, a mentally ill man who had been unable to receive proper treatment and was living in a room at his brother's home. When police attempted to subdue Carter, he horrifyingly cut open his own abdomen and began throwing his intestines and hunks of skin at the officers, saying he was going to die today and go into heaven.
Oh my God.
Despite the self-inflicted partial disbowelment, Carter survived.
What?
Yeah.
All right, well,
I mean, it
That's
just
the
wasn't
news.
his time to go, I guess, but that's some awful news.
Yeah, how do you survive that? How do you do that and not feel all that pain?
Surely you do feel the pain.
Why would you continue to do it then?
Because I don't,
So many
honestly,
questions.
I don't know, and I don't want to, like, talk bad about a mentally
No, I hope
ill
he's okay
person.
now. Yeah,
I hope he's gotten the treatment that he needs.
for sure. All right, so you know what time it is.
It's time for verses.
So verses, round one.
Yes.
Fight.
Shaking it up a little. I forgot that there's a...
Oh, yeah, we keep a coin in there.
Yeah, there's a coin. That's what it is.
Just help stir the pot a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's make sure.
Stirring it up real good.
Yeah, we want to keep this random. As always, we pit
Oh, yeah.
one scary thing against another, and we discuss which one's scary. Which one's more scary, I guess.
My favorite part is popping open the top of the box.
Yeah. All right, you gonna pick this week?
I'm going to pick, yeah. All right, let's dig in here. What are we going to get?
Drum roll.
Drum roll, please.
All right.
All right, what is scarier? The basement
Ooh.
or the attic?
Ooh, this is a really good one. The basement or the
Yeah.
attic? Well, both are terrifying.
When I think of an attic being scary, I think of someone living up there.
Yes.
I think of ghosts.
Yep.
But mostly I think of
Things
someone
in
living
movie.
up there.
Oh, yeah. Someone living up there is always very creepy.
That's the creepiest part of the
Like
attic.
someone yeah.
But
Unless you're Anne
also,
Frank.
yes, unless you're Anne Frank, then the attic comes in handy.
Yeah.
But also, like, if you hear, sometimes you might hear like a little something in the attic.
Oh, yeah, right. You always hear like bumps in the night coming from the attic for sure.
I
But
hate that.
the basement is like just dark and gloomy,
Yeah.
and there's certainly a damp, moist, muggy feel down there.
I think that, well,
It's just dark and evil looking.
there's some basements that aren't creepy at all that are like, made to live in.
Oh, well, yeah, like finished basements
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
But I guess that's the same.
I don't know. It's still creepy to me because you're like, there's no windows.
It's dark. Yeah.
It's dark.
It is
There's no
dark.
windows, and yeah.
And it is, you do
It's
have the
underground.
feeling like you're underground.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just creepy. Well, and you think about all the horror movies too, all the things that happen in basements, right?
Yeah. And then we've been in a creepy basement.
Oh yeah, we went to a creepy basement.
Yeah, at Zach Bagan's Haunted Museum in Vegas.
Yes,
They
we
say
went-
like devil
there was
worshipping
satanic
ceremonies
worshiping,
went down there.
There's children's sacrifices down there, possibly.
Yes, we went down
Yeah,
to
we
that
went down
basement
there
and it
and-
was dark.
It was dark and creepy, and we heard a little knock and got the hell out of there. So
Yeah, it was really like it was just like heavy down there.
it was heavy feeling. Then we heard that knock, and we
Yes.
just all right, let's get out of there. And I was the last one coming out, and I definitely felt like I had a presence behind me.
Oh, like coming up the stairs with you. I remember you saying that.
Yeah,
So I think because of that experience,
exactly.
I'm gonna say
have to go with
basement.
basement. But think of all the horror movies too, like with basement, like Evil Dead, the when we're coming out of the basement.
Ooh, even Cabin in the Woods. They go
Yeah,
down in the basement.
Go down the basement. Yeah, it's always the basement. So I'm gonna have to go with basement. It's creepier than the attic. Although the attic is very creepy.
Think of the attic in Sinister.
Yeah.
He goes up there and
Well, that was the
box
thing about the
of
attic to me.
movies.
It was always interesting. It's like kind of like Hellraiser. Also, like you know, something's always stored up there. You're hiding something, so it's always like you're hiding a dark secret. But the basement, you can be hiding all kinds of secrets. Also living down there.
Also, like, think of it's just something about the connection with the earth down in the basement.
Yeah, I think
like
we-
that energy or something.
Yeah.
I think we're in agreement that the basement
Yeah,
is scarier.
landslide basements are creepier, I think. I don't want to go down in the basement.
Yeah.
Or the cellar or anything like that.
Not by myself, and hopefully I have a flashlight at the very least. Hopefully it's got electricity and I
Yeah.
can just flip the switch.
I might go up into the attic by myself, but definitely not going down in the basement.
I agree completely.
Yeah. All right, well, what do you think? You tell us.
Yes, we want to hear from you like always.
Yeah, hit us up. Also, like we said, please hit us up on Hippie Hayes Studio
yes.
for your gifts for this holiday season.
For sure, we are excited. We have some really cool wax melts, like for your wax
Oh,
burner.
yeah. Stash boxes, tie-dye
Yes.
shirts.
We have a bunch of
paintings.
really cool stuff right now.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of space paintings, alien paintings. Those are cool.
Yes, and we do door hangers
door
for
hangers.
sports teams, any team you like.
Sports teams, holidays.
Hit us up. We're also
Hit us up. Check us out. It's Hippie Haze.
Yes, you can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Etsy at Hippie Haze Studio.
Yep, check us out there. Anyway, next week we'll be back with episode 11.
And our very first guest.
Yeah, we got a special guest coming.
Yes, I'm so excited. And I love the number 11. So obviously I'm very excited to do that episode.
Yep, it's a good episode.
I'm really excited. I can't wait to have our first guest.
Yep, me too. Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for checking us out. Please share us, spread the word. Help us get out there.
Yes, thank you. Please come back. Peace out.
Peace out. Stay haunted.